Hello, everyone. Welcome to DW Randomizer. We're continuing our coverage of the group stage of the summer 2022 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. The summer tournament is played with standard flags, and this year's format is divided into 3 stages. All players had the option to compete in 5 random seeds run asynchronously to determine seeding for the group stage. In the group stage, a head-to-head round-robin event will occur within every group, which has 7 or 8 runners each. And the top 3 from every group will then advance to the third and final stage, where a traditional bracket-style elimination contest will determine this year's tournament champion. Tonight's broadcast will feature 2 runners from the Scorpion group. It's the number 10 overall seed Smashy taking on Fitzentoaster. Smashy comes into tonight's race at 1-2 group stage record, and Fitzentoaster 0-2, so they got some work to do to get into the top 3. Let's see what happens tonight. Special thanks to our restreamer Brian Williams 42, tracking tonight's beta strap. Joining me on the mic, it's Tilo. How's it going?
It's going all right. I'm looking forward to this. Smashy is a well-established veteran at this point, who has had a little bit of misfortune starting the tournament, but is a incredible challenge to face no matter who you are. I have yet to actually get to watch Fitzentoaster do run anything, so I'll be interested to see his approach to this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I've seen his races yet either. And just looking at the tracker, we have no spells and relatively low HP for today's standards. No MP, of course. The 10 strength is enough to usually get you out of jail eventually, so see how things progress from there. Trying to think of what would be the slowest and worst possible starts here. We haven't had a complete swamp start in a while. I always like to see quest items right out of the throne room, which of course don't sell for anything. But let's see what we have here.
All the monies.
All right, double gold start. So even if you roll low, you're still guaranteed to afford a hand axe. And so with this strength score, would you save the money, Tilo, or are we just going out there and chancing it?
I'd probably just go out there and chance it.
Both strategies here. Well, we have caves, but no towns just yet. I like how Smashy popped in there just to see that it was a dark place, but didn't bonk around, doesn't want to get an encounter. This time he bonks around, so I don't know.
Well, that second one is Swamp North. I don't know what the early one is, but in Smashy's situation, I don't know that I would have saved anyway, but especially in Fitzentoaster's, because if you're looking for a hand axe, that's only 560, so you can at least get one round out, and you half that money, you can still afford a hand axe.
Yep, this desert seems to be the primary zone, so they'll get encounters very quickly, but we haven't seen the smallest monsters yet that they're going to want at this strength level. We've seen magicians and scorpions, going to be tough to win those battles just yet. Smashy being pretty aggressive, though, about getting out there and looking around for a town. Only 12 agility, and we're getting ambushed by the Druid Lord with Hurtmore, so rip gold.
Yeah, Fitzentoaster is trying to take out these slimes if he can find them, but they keep running away from him. And so that's the downside to that 10 attack power is you really want that Drakian Ghost, because you're not powerful enough to take anything above that, and the things below that are running away from you.
Yep. Oh, we do have a Drakey for Smashy, so they are in the zone. He did some due diligence. I always find these gold starts to be tricky because if nothing happens here on level 2, it starts to be pretty slow, and if your opponent finds a weapon, it's a really big advantage. We're going miles away to the west. Oh my gosh, there's a metal slime encounter, and it will not run away.
But he has 2 hit points left, so he's not going to kill it before it kills him.
Oh my gosh. Well, that would have been good for a couple of level ups. I think we're scaled in the current standard flag, so in this case it would have been worth 32 experience. But Smashy does get the necessary 5 experience points to get to level 2, and we have 2 more power and the Radiant spell, so it is continuing to be a bit sloggy to start things off here. 5 agility makes things slightly easier to get out in the world and run from an occasional monster, but still, getting blocked by the Droll here, not a great situation. Has exactly hand axe money, so decides to get back out there.
Yeah, and with 12 attack power, I still think you might be able to push your luck on a magician now, but you're still the Drakey and the Ghost are going to be your best bets, and as we saw on both their screens, the Drakeys have heal more, so you really got to get over that threshold the correct way, or that battle can take quite a while.
Yeah, agreed. And fortunately, Fitzentoaster also gets level 2 fairly close to Smashy, so the lead is not very large. Just, it was a few seconds difference getting the level, and now Smashy is going to attempt the run through Swamp Cave and runs into a red dragon, so that's probably going to end poorly. Guess it might be time to mention that we're running with the death counters on for the tournament, so this is one of those situations where that might start racking up pretty quickly. A couple of deaths already for both runners, and not really much ability to survive just yet. No healing spells, no real attack power, so let's see how often they die.
Yeah, honestly, that start with two gold chests is unfortunate because if there's not a town nearby, there's so many other things you could have found in that chest that would have offered you something to get off the ground with, a torch, a fairy water, an herb. With an herb, taking down a magician would not be an issue, probably, but instead, they're stuck just carrying around meaningless money.
This is actually interesting. Smashy just popped in and out of this cave, and I'm not sure if he identified what it was. It's the grave, because Fitzentoaster used the Radiant spell that they acquired on level 2 to figure out what it was, and there are some chests actually reasonably close that you can get without keys or anything, and could just open things up tremendously. You have 17 agility, so it's not like a free walk over there depending on what's in that zone. It's a random zone, but you could get to some pretty early chests here, but instead, level 3 for Smashy on the grind.
Well, now you really like those scorpions that you've been seeing around with that extra strength increase. That's going to be a really quick trip to level 4.
Yeah, the Magician is here, seems to have no abilities. Scorpion pops up pretty often. Yeah, we have that heal more you were talking about on the Drakey on Fitz's side, so it's taking a little bit longer than usual, and does outlast the Drakey before dying, but it's going to need to get level 3 quickly, because this experience lead could extend. That was a pretty big power boost. 20 agility now, you're still not loving the idea of walking through the grave, but if he gets more agility on this next level up, look for Smashy to start getting out there again.
Yeah, in this circumstance with the Scorpions and Magicians, if I get a big boost here at level 4, I might move on, but otherwise I'm probably waiting till level 5 because of how quick it is to get up. 0903. Agility is a nice gain, which was kind of the stat you were pointing to, but still I think he's going to sit here for at least to level 5 at 82 experience.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not sure if Smashy knows what cave that was when he went in. And I don't have the audio on my end, so maybe he did bonk a little bit and I didn't notice. But yeah, he just popped in and out. He knows it's a dark place. But yeah, those chests are a pretty close walk. Neither runner has decided to venture in there to try and get them yet. On some of these slower starts where you don't have anything else and no weapon, it's sometimes worth a run or two to see if you can get to those chests. But as you said, though, we're making quick work of the Scorpions and Magicians in the zone, and Smashy's one victory away from level 5. Well, Fitz gets the power boost from level 3, just a minute or two behind Smashy, so that is the lead right now. Whatever the time difference was when they got this level, it's the small advantage that Smashy has right now.
Smashy is having absolute fits trying to locate a Scorpion at this point. He has had a number of slimes run into him, a Magician run away, and then had a Droll that he attempted to take, and then the Droll hit hard, and he said, maybe not. He's finally settled down to just accept he needs to kill some slimes too.
What's kind of interesting about that, though, is so he's figured out that if you go far enough east where the mountain range is, there are some desert tiles there that'll get you into the next zone. So that might be useful just in a little bit. But now we're going to try the grave. Oh, man. So this also is a bad zone. So we've already seen the mountain cave slash swamp cave zone has red dragons in it, and so now the top grave zone has the star wyvern. So there's not a lot of easy walks through the dungeons right now.
Yeah, this feels like something where you want to stay in the light for a little while.
Yeah, I can't recall. Did the Droll have some kind of an ability as well? Was it a fire breath?
I don't think so. He just had 10 HP when he ran into him and got eaten for 7 after just doing a small amount of damage, and so realized that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I just wonder if you can, thanks to the tracker, nothing special on this Droll. I just wonder if you can fight that Droll, like if you want to go to the next zone over. But the Scorpion is so juicy at this stage. If the Scorpion pops up often, then I guess you stay here, at least to level this level up. Ooh, another good power boost. I think now you definitely at least want to explore that east zone. Maybe the Droll is joined by like a wolf and a metal scorpion, and you can really get moving. So there were a few desert tiles to the east. Well, now with the... he didn't gain any agility on this all. He's going to take another walk into the swamp here, or into the grave. Gets the Star Wyvern again right away, and again gets blocked in front, so...
And the perfect bid.
Yeah. Well, I think Smashy just wanted to know if he was going to gain like a hurt more spell or something, and then since there's not any significant, speed up to the situation, then he decides, all right, well, maybe I'll get those chests again. Took another... now, how often is he going to do this before? Is he going to give up eventually and try for another level? Or just, how many runs in here? It's not that far, so right now he's getting no encounters. Oh, the chests are just right there. There's also a green dragon. Ooh. Tough zone here. Yep, double run block. So the luck has not really gone Smashy's way, and while this is happening, Fitz is catching up with the experience.
Yeah, that walk to the chest, you're only going to average 1 to 2 encounters on that, so you can get there in 0, and if you can find one monster you can run from, you can also get it, but so far we've not found any that are run-fromable, so I think Smashy may just be licking his wounds at this point and deciding to go take out his frustration on a Droll.
Yep. Okay, so I think he is drifting over into the east zone here. Scorpions are popping up, and they're still fine going from level 5 to 6. If you see nothing but scorpions, that's totally fine. Now, wait a minute. He's looking in the bottom. Maybe he thinks this might be the south zone. Oh, there's a warlock here. Yeah, so I'm not clear if this is the east or the south. I think he seems to think it's the south edge here, the south zone. Nice crit there for 28 experience on the warlock. There's another warlock right away. This is actually a tough damage race unless he gets another crit, but he might get him. Nice, yeah, he survives.
And that's going to be enough to take him to level 6 on the nose.
Fitz is going to make his way, and Fitz, of course, finds the Magidrakian. So, like you said, an enemy that you could run from, he's actually just going to fight through it. A little bit difference in the luck factor so far. Let's see if he gets to the chest. Almost there. There's the 3 chests. Aha! Oh, it's a key! That is interesting. And if he can get out of here without dying, he can hold on to the money that he might have. Oh, he had some money. Ooh, now this is tricky. You might want to save here, because you can't afford another key. You could always walk back in here and get the key again. So you might want to save, or maybe you just don't even worry about it. You got to go check this treasury. If the sword is sitting there, it's a huge deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, since you can get another key anywhere, if there is gold in this treasury, I'm just keeping it and going to try for another key when I get the chance. And so that I can both get what's in here and keep going. But hopefully something good in here. Fairy water, wings, Oh, we've got glitch chests. So we can actually do the whole gold grind thing going on now.
Oh, this is such a weird situation now. You have not seen the town, and you're not very strong. Oh, boy. Okay, the fighter's ring maybe was in that other glitch chest, so he puts that on for +2. What are we going to do about this gold here? Oh, he's grinding some money, so... Ooh, this is gross. This is a weird spot.
Yeah, this is real tough when you've been out for 13 minutes and haven't seen a town yet. That you just don't there's a combination of, hey, if I get this thing, I'm going to be off to the races. But at the same time, how much of this money is just going to end up lost? Or how
Uh,
long do you want to spend resetting to keep
Resetting,
that
right?
money?
But like the key thing here is they don't even have a healing spell. So even if you decided at some point, well, maybe I'll just grind to level 6 while I'm holding on to the money, you're going to get whittled down while you're grinding, and you don't have any healing. So, oh boy, this is a huge gamble. Smashy's actually made quite a bit of progress on the map lately. Another cave here.
And even see, he still has not found a town. So
Yeah.
it's not looking good like this is going to pay off very well for Fitzentoaster.
All right, we have the +2 defense for Smashy. We had the +2 offense for Fitz with the ring. Dragon Scale gives the defense equivalent. Puts that on and immediately runs into a Wraith who has the sleep spell. Little bit unlucky to get ambushed. The agility score isn't actually that bad for an early level here, but we have slept and wrecked. Back to the castle goes Smashy. Still hasn't found a town, so I'm gonna see, like, maybe Smashy takes another run into the grave and gets evened up on the key situation. But based on what he has seen in there, that's not an easy walk. So,
Yeah, honestly, at this point, oh, never mind. I was thinking he was on level 5 still. On level 6, I can totally get the wanting to explore out, but
So Fitz went all the way, Tilo. That took probably almost 2 minutes to grind that gold, including saving here with the king and everything. And now the quest to find a town is on.
yeah, I wish him luck. Smashy's exploration so far has indicated that the odds are not going to be in his favor, but maybe he just finds the exact right direction.
So, like, even there, he just, like, absentmindedly walked through about 5. Oh my gosh, there's a town right there. Oh,
It's Cantlin! Oh,
this
man!
is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Oh, and there's a flame sword and a silver shield. What an incredible sequence for Fitzentoaster. Huge advantage right now.
It is worth noting he does not have a key, so he cannot check that third locked shop. But hopefully, from his sake, hopefully there is a magic armor here, and he will be fully kitted out.
Oh my gosh, full play. This is incredible. You spend the rest on fairy waters and herbs and such, or just get out of here, and you are off to the races. What a big deal for Fitzentoaster, and how long will it take Smashy to go find keys? Oh, that was a very large gold grind with no town in sight. It's so rare that you see that pay off as well as it just did there for Fitz. He's got to hurry up and kill some monsters now.
Yeah, I think
I'm not even sure I'd be coming back in here, although, he wants the key again right away, but, like, just go grind some monsters here. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think the last race you and I calmed together had the same kind of thing where one person did this opening grind to break out, and the other one just kind of ran with it, and the opening grind ended up completely biting that player. So it can go either direction, but this time it went very much in Fitzentoaster's favor.
So Fitz actually managed to run from the wizard with 29 agility and with no additional herbs. Was smart to use the one herb, so he was able to absorb an additional hit, and then after that first hit, he got away from the wizard and managed to get the key. So he now has keys and enough money on, if he dies in here, he can go to the Tantagel shop and buy more keys right away, and he'll just be all set. What an amazing 5 minutes here for Fitz. And here comes the hurt more from the wizard, gonna send him home. You just have to remember not to, like, spend this key on the treasury again or whatever. Go immediately to the key shop, go buy more keys. Also check the basement. Oh, he's off and running. I mean, it's go time. And poor Smashy's over here looking for more warlocks and whatever else is in this zone. Just trying to get level 7.
Yeah, that Magidrakey not being a Star Wyvern or a Green Dragon really paying off for Fitz over here.
Smashy not quite able to get that final victory that would have given him level 7, so he's going to have to make do with whatever MP gets respawned here. He's going to go back out onto the map, look for one more victory, and for his sake, he wants Hurtmore on level 7. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's hoping for hurt more, and Fitz is hoping for the exact opposite. When you put all that extra effort into a high weapon grind, you tend to want strength to come very slowly.
And I'll tell you what, they've only learned one spell so far, and it's Radiant, and Fitz has actually put that to great use so far. And oh, look, don't look now, Smashy got his dreams came true. At the exact right moment, he actually does pick up Hurt More. What a save for Smashy, who's now going to look for the Green Dragon and the Star Wyvern in here, and of course finds the Wizard.
Yeah, and Smashy's luck here, he's like, alright, I can take care of these guys now, and then Graves like, oh, here's another monster you haven't seen yet that you can't hurt more.
Alright, we've seen all 5 monsters in that zone now. It's the Magician, the Magidrake, and the 3 big monsters. So here comes a chance to try the Hurt More. And he does get the one shot. Wow, so luck is turning a little bit here for Smashy.
Now, the question comes, is Smashy going to be interested in doing a gold grind if he dies here?
He did not see that town, and he went pretty far in a couple of other directions, so if he does, I think it'll be a shortened version, and then he'll have to redo it later for all that gear. That's just my hunch here. He might pick up 3,000 or 4,000 for his travels, but well, we're about to find out because he has just enough money to go buy 1 key, and then maybe open the treasury here. Because after losing half the gold, he's down to 150 gold. He can hope that there's gold in the treasury, which there is. So he'll go buy 1 key here so that he has enough to open both doors. It's like a back and forth walk. Once you get the money, then you have to come back over here to buy more keys, etc. Let's see what Smashy does with this potential grind here. He has Hurt More, remember, so there's less incentive to, look for the really big weapons now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Fitzentoaster is over here kind of trawling these hills where he keeps running into metal slimes. He saw a wraith there, which I imagine he's also kind of searching for, but he's had a couple metal slimes that he's not been able to get enough hits on before they ran away.
And Fitz, with the red slime victory, picks up level 7, so he finds the Hurt More, and now for sure, if he thought he needed to grind then, now it's time to go. He's off and running. It's yet another metal slime.
Okay, Chad is correcting me. He actually did crit a metal slime, which is how he made up so much of that experience deficit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and the metal slimes, of course, were not worth full value at that time, but he still got a good chunk of experience. And now he has an opportunity here to use Hurt More at his leisure, but he's using that Flame Sword to pretty good effect as well. So either way, I guess he was choosing to wait for a larger monster. I think Smashy already saw this bonus cave, right? So it's going to pick up the Dragon Scale and probably put it on the scale as well. So catching up on some of the exploration that Smashy did earlier, while Smashy catches up in the other direction, trying to, get the keys and make sure he's not falling behind on experience. Yep, so Fitzentoaster already made this walk through Tablet Cave, so they're kind of converging now, right? There was some divergent paths there for a bit. Now we're converging after... How much gold did Smashy grind up? We'll see when he stops to open this chest, what he stopped at.
Meanwhile, Fitzentoaster, armed with Hurt More, lands in Hawksness, so this could also be really huge.
Yep, for sure. Smashy's a little short of Flame Sword money for whatever reason. That's what he decided to stop at. May have had exactly Flame Sword money and then spent a bunch of money on keys, and I don't know. But yeah, all right, what do we have here? It is a Golem, unfortunately. So wow, 1 shot, sent home immediately. No Hurt More target there. Wow, what an interesting last 5 or 10 minutes of this race. It looked like Fitz was going to propel forward, and the level 7 Hurt More saved Smashy in this race.
Yeah, now all of their strategy up to this point has kind of gone by the wayside in favor of, please let me find something I can throw a Hurt More at.
I think Smashy's almost ready to find this town. I think it's just right up here, and it's going to be kind of strange for him to have this particular amount of gold when he's going to see the flame sword in the shop. Wait, did he somehow miss the town again? He's going north, but...
Yeah, he's just like
What?
about 6 tiles south of where the town is. Or
Okay.
where the town is visible.
Just getting
So he'll be
bombarded by
right
these
there.
enemies on the way. Fitz just walked right by him and walked straight into the town, no problem.
Yeah, Fitz seems to have like the red carpet rolled to this town for him.
Alright, so Fitz with the herb purchases, and that may be what is necessary to get over to the old man for the coordinate check. We have at least 30 hit points, which is what you need to get there with the herb strats. If you have less than 30 HP, it doesn't do you much good. You can't get there. But
Well, we just got a lot of HP at level 8, but not much else to write home about. Still no way to recover health other than the herb.
wait, what in the world just happened there? He stepped on the tile one time. He's not going to use the herbs? This is strange what's happening on Fitz's screen. I guess he wants to take the inn first. But you don't have any healing spell, so this was not... Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just a little confused there. I think we're going to have to go use the herbs.
At 29 health rather than at the 30 whatever, so he was basically a tile down from the get-go.
Okay. You still would have had enough to make it with the herbs here, but I guess better safe than sorry. Let's see if he gets a good herb roll here. He does. So he's only has to use the minimum number of herbs. And here we go, 25 and 54. That's kind of interesting. You can definitely walk 25 north. That's about where you are here with Cantlin. Now, from there, I'm not sure if you can go east from here.
Yeah, we haven't really attempted to go like in north or east from this location yet, so don't have any idea whether or not that's countable at the moment.
Yep. So Smashy does make his way into Cantlin and saw the flame sword there, couldn't afford it, decides on the full plate for now, and I just don't think he has a weapon still. Now, there is a third shop here, which I don't think we've seen yet, so I'm gonna go check this out, and we have the broadsword at least, so the lower gold grind sort of working out for Smashy. There was a large shield somewhere as well, so broadsword full plate large shield is perfectly fine. He could finish out the seed just like this. He just got hurt more as well, so he may be done and just not bother with the silver shield, so we'll wait for later and see if he ends up wanting to do another gold grind. But he might be done.
Yeah, unless armor is in Sherlock and you might want to think about doing a gold grind for magic armor as well, then yeah, you're probably not looking at another shop if you've got the gear Smashy has.
Fitz continuing with the exploration advantage here, finds coal, so another search spot. And let's see here. Then we dig up the armor.
Wow.
That's what I was wondering. So, big deal. Now you have heal walking, which when you have no healing spells is really important. It really extends your exploration. You don't want to run into too many wizards, of course, but now you can heal walk that damage back. See, he just got punched by a wizard. Now there's another town here. Holy cow. Fitz is having some great exploration.
Smashy is taking his hurt more to the spike tile to see what's available for him there. He finds an armored knight, so that's a doable one to get off the ground. It's not your favorite.
He also might be going for a rescue because he just got the coordinates, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Alright, back 3 here for... Oh man, there's a red dragon in the zone, remember? So Smashy will have to deal with that. But we have the flute, and we have a cursed belt, which might give us some information. And the empty chest, and we'll have a basement check back here. So Fitz is doing really well exploring. Smashy with a bit of bad luck on the red dragon random encounter.
From a runner's perspective, the cursed belt gives them information. From our overall perspective, being able to see both runners, we actually have already discovered that all 3 coordinates, or all 3 search spots have something, because we saw Hawksnest. Oh no, we didn't actually see what was under Hawksnest, did we?
No, we saw there was a golem there, so that may... But now I guess we know that there is something there. Did we see 3 belts? I don't know what.
No, we haven't seen... I think that was the second belt, if not the first. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it's unclear if that golem will have to be defeated for any reason. We still don't have any actual quest items that you'll need to get into Charlotte Castle, so search spot times become required when there's a quest item sitting there. So eventually we're going to want to fight that golem, and Fitz actually has that flute. So that's a winnable fight now, theoretically. Now you'd have to do it with low HP and all that, but he's got the flame sword and he's got the flute. So, who knows? Probably you're going to want a heal spell to go along with that, and then maybe give it a shot.
Now, Smashy goes across the swamp cave, make it across the swamp cave, and he's over here on the east coast. And because it didn't look like there was a whole lot east to go when we were at the Cantlin area. I'm wondering if this area right here actually is where those coordinates are going to end up being.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance of that, which would mean the princess will be pretty important in most cases, right? It's sometimes pretty hard to count your way across ocean tiles and that sort of thing. Alright, so Fitz, where is he now? Okay. Finally finding some empty space. Found a lot of caves and towns pretty quickly. These maps are really big, so a lot of times you do have a lot of empty space. Now, Smashy is doing some sort of landmarking here. He's counting his way to the edge of the primary zone. Just wants to, if you can see across here, if he identified that bridge, he got to that from the other side or whatever. But of course you can't walk there from here because of the way the land is there. But if he identified that, he could pick up his count from where that bridge is on the other side.
Yeah, I think that's his, or I thought that was his plan at the moment. Or though maybe he thinks across Swamp Cave is exactly where that bridge is. Nope, I'm wrong again. He's heading the opposite direction now.
It's just, I know that red dragon's in there, but you can definitely rescue the princess. I don't know. I don't know if I would go through so much trouble to make that count happen if it was me, but again, I am a little lazy with like that. So,
well, I think the issue is with the MP they have at the moment. You already have to sacrifice enough to get through 2 armored knights and healing and whatnot, and a red dragon just, if you had outside, for example, I think you might be more inclined to do it, but because you already have to deal with the armored knights on that trip with the low MP and the low HP, the odds of running into a red dragon and hurting you just feels too big at this point in time.
But what's the harm in just coming back later when you get outside, or you get some other way makes it a lot easier to get the princess? Do you need to go chase that item down right now?
Yeah, you're right. It's not really a necessity, but it is. You never know if it's got armor or something like that. You could. But I mean, I don't know. Smashy may not even be looking for that location, but he's like, hey, here's a landmarky location way over here. Gotcha. If I happen to come across this somewhere in my travels, I'd like to know where it is already.
Yeah, good point on that. Maybe not necessarily planning on doing it that way, but just in case. So anyways, Fitz is back into coal here for a refill. I'm not sure if anything new has been found on that screen in a little while here, but has made great progress. Urgic's armor with the heal walking is fantastic.
That's just north of Cantlin is all this other fun stuff. So Smashy's just about to get that armor.
And by the way, they picked up Repel at some point too, so now we can cover this map really well. Urgic's armor, Silver Shield on Fitz's side. I mean, he's already at 68 defense, so he's only seeing perfect enemies like this Magic Wyvern. So we one-shot victory, hurt more. You take maybe 50 or 60 more steps, you find a bunch of map information, then you get another really good encounter. So it's yet another town here. So covering the map very quickly. Oh, just back at Hawksness now, but he already knows the golem's here, right?
Yeah, so he has the flute, so maybe he's thinking, let's give this thing a shot. See if we can get lucky. Or not. Maybe he just forgot what it was.
Well, flute is about to be acquired by Smashy, but I don't know that Smashy's been over here to see Hawksness yet, so he'll just have to keep that in his back pocket for later.
Yeah, at this point, 68 is actually like almost an ideal agility or defense to have when you're you've got Hurtmore and you're trying to do an explore and grind, because it's getting rid of all the garbage monsters, but yet the one-shot Hurtmore monsters are still around. The Knights and the Magiwyvern specifically are absolutely juicy Hurtmore targets that will still be around versus when the agility gets a little higher. Some of your best Hurtmore targets will actually disappear.
Yep, that's true. And there's an argument to be made for Smashy's defense being pretty good for that 58. So you pick up Rogue Scorpions, and I'm not even sure if you get a Joel Magi or something in there, but and definitely you want to use Repel because you don't want to see the small monsters. You really want to cover the map now. And because Smashy also got the armor there, which I missed that pickup, but yeah, they both now have the heal walking, so they should be taking a lot fewer deaths. Fitz is going to go for the rescue, and once again, having a bit better luck than Smashy did, since has made it all the way to the princess, but no, it's a red dragon.
The red dragon is the true Princess Guardian in this one.
Indeed. And I'm actually not sure if Fitz knew there were red dragons in this zone at all, because didn't really walk around through the swamp cave earlier. But now we know. I think Smashy had already been to that town earlier, and now just wants to make sure that this eastern walk... wait a minute. I wonder if he's looking for that landmark.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. He just passed Cole and was able to go way east. Now he's going to go back south here, try to see if he can find that bridge. But I don't think he's going to be able to. I think that bridge is southwest of this location right now.
Yeah. Yep. But I think it looks to me like you can count this out, because you're walking this whole way, right? You went north from start, and now you're walking pretty far east. So
yeah,
maybe
I would
it's
agree.
not on the second continent. It's just like a long walk. So you could
Yeah.
count this.
I think it's probably somewhere in that swamp down there where he was trying to find his landmark. I think that's probably around the area where the item's going to end up being.
And so, what else is happening? Fitz actually has jumped out to about a 500 point lead with some of these Armored Knight victories. Might want to even just stay here and get some more Armored Knights until you fish out a healing spell. Oh, you did pick up heal on level 10, so that
He also picked up 30 agility and 19 magic points to go along with that.
Wow, that's awesome. Super good for exploring and for surviving and running away from some of these big monsters. See if he can make it out of here with the princess so that he can actually continue his journey here.
Oh, and there's Axe Knights.
Oh my goodness. Alright, Fitz has even more fortunate luck here. The Axe Knight has heal, and you could just double heal more right through that. But Fitz is not using the heal more. Wait, did he notice the heal? You have to use a hurt more here. There you go. Wait, he's refusing to use it. This is very... I don't understand. You have to hurt more.
I think he keeps hoping that he can swing through it, but you can't. Oh, he is worried about making sure he has enough resources to handle that Armor Knight that's coming his way.
Yeah.
But I mean, you only need two Hurtmores for that. But I think that was his thought process.
Okay. Makes some sense. All right. Not sure if he happens to have wings from the treasury still. You could maybe go out the north entrance and save yourself a few potential red dragon steps. Alright, Demon Knight is here, but that big agility boost is helping. Demon Knight, and we're a big favorite to get away from that now. Yeah, he is going through the north entrance, although maybe this was the entrance all along. For some reason I thought they came in through the south entrance, but no, it's the other way. So, okay. Don't need to use the wings, we're just right back home, and we have a princess rescue for Fitz, and that will make things easier to track down that overworld item. Still no quest items found. Slight equipment edge goes to Fitz. Fitz has been a little bit further out onto the map. He also has a bit of an experience lead. And Smashy is manually counting this out now. Oh boy.
He did kind of this counting walk a few minutes ago, and came up here and kind of stopped where this other bridge is here east of Cantlin, and paused for a minute. So I thought he was landmarking that bridge, kind of like he's doing right now. So, and then he ran off to go check other parts of the map. So I'm kind of surprised he's counting this a second time.
I think it's pretty clear now he's going to pick up this count this time. And yeah, stopping again. We see the cursor. And we're going to, yeah, we're counting with the cursor on the screen. Thank you, Smashy. And we're going to continue along. This goes kind of up and around the water here, but it should continue east from here pretty easily. And Fitz is just going to walk straight over there. See, he's walking right past Smashy here. He's got the item that tells you exactly where you are. So no stutter stepping. Just there we go. High five right there. Virtual high five. And on we go. There goes Fitz. May want to go ahead and use the item now. Takes the 5 to 10 seconds to do this. Let's see here. I think we got to get further east by about... Yeah, okay. Oh, we have it on the tracker there. Yeah, just about 20 steps east and we'll have it. And it has to be a quest item because he's got the necklace and the flute. Oh wait, we didn't have the sword yet. Never mind. But it is the quest item. Our first one. It's the Stones of Sunlight.
And
Throws
so
the wings up to get out of here. Okay.
Smashy gets his. Apparently, he was only counting east and west because he kind of started right at the coast on the top and just kept going down in a straight line. So he was confident in east-west count and managed to go check about his 5th or 6th tile down and got his stones of sunlight as well. So now they're all even in what they've discovered at this point, except for that Smashy has not yet found Hawksness.
Yeah, and I'm still not sure that you can reliably win that fight. You would rather have the heal more spell to work with instead of the heal spell, since the golem can out-hit you with the heal spell, but yeah, it would be doable. Just you would have to have a little bit of luck go your way.
Yeah, you usually even with heal more, you usually want to have maybe around between 70 and 80 to try that with a golem because you want to be able to absorb 2 body blows from the start in order to realistically have a chance. Because yeah, you could put him down and put him to sleep, but he wakes up, hits you, and you're dead. Then not really great odds.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have Smashy about to discover Hawksness, and Fitz has gone through to the second continent, which I'm not sure he's been over here yet. It's kind of this weird little area with these islands and bridges. I don't think it was much. I don't think this opened up very much, right? Did Smashy fully clear this?
I don't think Smashy went across the swamp on this side. I think he got sent home somewhere in this general vicinity after exploring that southern area.
Because I'm trying to think now. We've already seen the search spots in Cole and the Overworld, so we know that this golem might be guarding something. But what else have they not found? I think there's the one other big dungeon. The mountain cave is still out there. But otherwise, we got the 3 chests from Garenham. We got the ones in the treasury. They went through Tablet Cave, so there's actually not too many more chests.
I think they found a bonus cave, right? That had gold in it, I believe.
Oh, here's the end of the continent. So that's full cleared now by Fitz. There's nothing over here. He doesn't have any more wings, so he actually might want to take an intentional death here. Alright, we'll double check some stats. There's no way home here. Oh, he heals up anyways, but okay. Just interesting.
So yeah, the only other chest that you hadn't mentioned up to this point was the Rimmeldar chest. We have not found Rimmeldar and the thing that's hiding behind the 2 keys. But other than that, yeah, we've got Mountain, we've got the bottom 2 of Grave, we've got Hawksness, and we've got Rimmeldar, and that's the rest of the places we have to check for stuff.
Yeah, that's right. They did the bonus cave. That was up to the northwest. That wasn't much. Bottom Grave, I did forget about that. So hopefully our runners don't also forget about that.
I know we found one trade-in cave below the castle, but... No, it was the tablet below the castle. One trade-in cave below... Garenham, I mean. But I'm not sure if we've seen the other one.
Yeah, we saw Sharlock sighting on Smashy's screen, so thinking of trading caves in endgame kind of locations we're going to need to find eventually. I think we may have seen Charlock before, but it's down here, kind of toward the southwest. More Axe Knight victories for Fitz, who now has a 1,000 point lead on the experience here. So if he manages to acquire the items just as quickly as Smashy, he'll have, a lead going into the grind phase.
Yeah, at this point, it's probably about who's able to find Mountain first. Obviously there's those other chests, but just statistically speaking, Mountain
Especially
seems like it's
since you
going to be the
can't
biggest
deal
issue.
with the golem yet anyway, so you might as well go find Mountain, dig that out, and maybe you'll be at level 12 by then and more able to take on the golem for probably it's guarding the last quest item. And of course, there's also still Erdrick's sword that needs to be found, but that doesn't necessarily have to be out here. It could be in Charlock. The quest items, of course, have to be out here somewhere, but the sword could be anywhere. Oh, that kind of feels bad to find this trading cave on Fitz's side and not have the harp in hand. So you have to really try hard to remember where this is because you're going to have to come back later.
Yeah, and it's not nearby anything else either. It's way off. Well, actually, I take it back. It's quite nearby Mountain Cave.
Alright, Radiant Spell. We have only 16 MP left to try and deal with this cave, and there are some big monsters up on the top zone, if you recall. And the zone underneath this, so here's the red dragon. And the zone under this would be the one that we saw in the grave that had the green dragon, the wizard, and the Star Wyvern.
Yeah, this is not a free walk at any part of this cave right now, so obviously Fitzentoaster feeling that, but at least he knows where it is. Meanwhile, Smashy does come across Rimmaldar, so we're going to get to see that one chest.
If I'm Fitz, I think I might consider actually diving Deep Grave here because, we still need a little bit more on our stat progression to go take on the golem, and you need something to do besides just running all the way back to the mountain cave and just dying again.
And the experience gain you get just going through that first floor of Grave.
Yeah, and the grave is right here.
Substantial, so
great decision. Let's see this. He's doing exactly that. This is the grave. It's just right next to start. What was in that chest? Sorry. Smashy found the Rimmaldar chest.
It was fairy water.
Okay. Alright, so Rimmaldar doesn't help, so it's bottom 2, and it's Mountain Cave, right? Is that it for chests now?
I think that's it.
Alright, so Fitz is going to attempt bottom 2 right now. We're already up through that more dangerous zone, and now we're in an unknown zone, the bottom grave. This is just a totally different zone. Oh my god, there's a sword! What is happening in this seed? I think everything is kind of going against Smashy so far. Smashy is the sort of runner that may end up doing bottom grave dead last, even to the point of searching for it in Charlock before going into the grave. Just a lot of people don't like to dive the grave. And finds the red dragon actually is also in this zone down in Deep Grave, which is a separate zone from what we've seen in the other parts of those dungeons. So red dragons are all over. We have one on the overworld for Smashy here as well. So this is one of those seeds. You just have the fun police out and about.
Yeah, and I'll also point out that Smashy just came across Brecken area, which was just a little bit to the side of Rimmaldar. So between our two runners, we have now seen everything other than the contents of... We've seen every location, and we are simply waiting for the contents of 6 chests and a Hawks and a search tile.
That was interesting. Fitz actually walked over and was going to go back into Deep Grave. Maybe is worried now that because it takes a key to get to Deep Grave and was running low on keys. So he just aborted that, took a few steps into the grave, then came back over here to the castle to do this. So he can make sure he doesn't run out of keys or something. Let's see how many keys he buys here. Was he actually down to his last key? Looks like maybe not quite, but maybe just wanted to make sure. Interesting. Now probably going back into Deep Grave, because what else can you even do right now? You don't want to go into that mountain cave, which was really far away, so...
Yeah, in chat, the only other real thing you could do right now is just go into the swamp cave and grind armored knights.
Yeah, well, there are red dragons en route to that spike tile as well. You just can't even deal with a red dragon right now at all. Although 80 agility for Fitz makes it a little bit more reasonable to just at least try and get away. But we have
Yeah,
no heal more. Like, there's no way to fight them right now.
Yeah, and you're even at 80 agility, you're only about a 45% to run away from them, so it's certainly not a given. And one fail with 60 hit points is pretty much, that's game over.
All right, here's that trading cave for Smashy. So he's kind of on that same route down towards Mountain Cave. And he's already seen Rimmildar. Oh, wait, he's not going to go down there.
He went the wrong direction.
Oh, boy. Well, maybe this doesn't go far up here. He just wants to check out the coastline. But I think he's going to have to go down to make progress. Speaking of progress, Fitz has managed to get pretty far into here without seeing another red dragon. But no, it's a red dragon. One more chance. Manipulating and getting away with the manip strats. Very nice. Fully healing up. This is very important for people to recognize. Have red dragons in the zone, you might as well heal all the way up to max, and gets to the chest. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay off, but now he checks that box off. Doesn't have to come back here. Oh, and no outsides. Feels kind of bad.
So at this point, we are guaranteed to have at least one key item in the mountain cave, because we may have one hiding in Hawksness, but the only other place with things we haven't found yet is Mountain Cave.
Yep, and if there are two things in here, then we don't have to go to Hawksness at all. Of course, Smashy doesn't know that because he doesn't yet have the sword. So he'll have to choose between, going into Deep Grave or maybe going back to the Golem in Hawksness, looking for it over there. Okay. Here's that same zone. There's an Axe Knight here for Smashy. Axe Knights have the small fire, so that's actually pretty nice to see.
It's also nice, in this exact circumstance, it's nice that they have heal as well, because it means that if they do that, hit you beforehand and now you're theoretically in one-shot range, they're exceedingly unlikely to finish you off after you land that hurt more, because they will heal themselves instead.
And Fitz is looking around at an awful lot of empty space kind of along the southern areas, I think. Looking for what exactly, maybe trying to just get back to Mountain Cave, and he has finally found it. So now he's going to skip by and make sure there's nothing like down here, which of course there's not. He hasn't seen Rimmildar, so maybe he's got that in his mind that he's got that one chest hanging out there. But back into Mountain Cave goes Fitz, see if he can avoid the red dragon.
So we have found the token at this point on Smashy screen. We've got 2 more chests after this torch to potentially be the harp.
Well, wasn't that one, so one left. Otherwise, it's under the golem, right? And here we go. Here's the last check in Mountain. It's a cursed belt, so off to Hawksness we go. Fitz has got to get off this floor here, and he does. So we're off the red dragon floor. Now we have this zone. Now at this stage is actually pretty nice. There's green dragons and Star Wyvern in here. Hurt more targets. You're not going to get one shot by them. So
I'll also point out, while Smashy was checking that last chest, Fitzentoaster made it to level 12, which had a 16 strength gain, as well as another 9 hit points, which increases a lot of gives you a lot of better opportunities grinding.
Yep. Token acquired for Fitz and drops the cursed belt that was in his inventory, and here come the green dragon encounters. We're going to continue hurt-mooring our way through here to retain this experience lead. It's got about an 800-point lead here. As you mentioned, level 12 was pretty useful. Smashy just recently got level 11, so got some catching up to do, and makes it through the entire dungeon. So Fitz now, I think in Fitz's mind, he knows now that either Rimmildar or Hawksness, right? I think he's been everywhere else in the game. He even saw the the Harp Trading Cave. Was Rainbow Drop Cave somewhere?
Rainbow Drop Cave is behind Garanham.
Oh, that's the one behind Garanham. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully they made note of that. Yeah, so I
Smashy is
don't know
also...
if it makes sense for Fitz to look for Rimildar, or if we should really just go back and fight the Golem. He's got the flute. Like, it might be time to just go to where you know where Hawksness is. You have to weigh that against maybe searching for quite a while for Rimildar.
And while he did all that, Smashy set the gold grind up out of Mountain Cave and is going to acquire himself a silver shield before continuing his way, I assume, to Hawksness to try to take on that golem.
That's very interesting. I wasn't sure that Smashy would bother with a second gold grind, especially now on level 11. They have 80 agility, so oftentimes you don't really want to mess with a silver shield this late when you have good agility, but decides that it's going to be worthwhile in the end to go through this trouble. And so here comes the upgrade.
Yeah, the real benefit to getting the silver shield at this point is the ability to repel more monsters in Sharlock. We've seen the wizards, we've seen the star wyverns, we've seen the green dragons. We haven't seen anything particularly nasty out of them, so repelling them isn't necessarily going to be a huge deal. But having said that, if you spend an extra minute grinding a silver, that can pay for itself with just a certain amount of missed encounters in Sharlock.
I missed that. I think Fitz was in Rimildar just now. I saw him walking up along the edge as if he wanted to do a key refill and then exit. I missed completely if he went and checked the chest. Well, if he did, he's done. He's got to get over to the golem for that fight, or if he doesn't think that's possible, just go grind Armored Knights. He's done. He's seen everything in the whole seed now. What is happening here? Just wants to verify.
I think he meant to go into the swamp to grind.
Okay.
Grave
Gonna
instead.
maybe do an Armored Knight grind now. So interesting play here, getting prepared for the eventual golem encounter. Okay, I like it. There's no rush. You know that the quest item is there, and you can just get it at any time. So let's go get some experience. Make sure that we don't die to the golem when we get over there.
Meanwhile, Smashy has gone back across the swamp to go look around, and I'm interested in the decision there because Smashy has seen everything up to this point, and so exploring more of that second continent does not seem like it has a lot of value.
Well, wait a minute. He must be missing something then. He didn't do Deep Grave, of course, but in terms of actual towns and caves, you think he's seen them all?
Yeah, he's found Rimildar, he's found Breckenary, he's found Cole, he's found Cantlin, he's found Garanham, and he found Hawksness. So he's found all the towns. I know he found the Turn-In Caves, and he's been in Grave, been in Mountain. So yeah, I think he's done Tablet, which was underneath Mountain. He was walked in and out of Bonus Caves, so assuming he's been there before. So yeah, he's seen everything. I don't know what he was looking for. Maybe he was just kind of wandering around while taking
sometimes
stock.
You forget that you've seen that Rainbow Drop Cave in Garanham. Maybe he was looking for it in his notes or something. Wasn't sure if he'd seen it. Just looked around, and maybe now he realized, oh wait, I don't know where it is. So he came back to the grind. Because that's like you said, if you've seen everything, there's no reason to continue exploring areas that where nothing's going to be there.
Yeah, it could also be one of those things you're kind of trying to get your ducks in a row. Okay, I've got this to do, and while you're doing that, you just kind of start mindlessly doing something while you're thinking through that, rather than just standing still. And that may have been his choice. Well,
right.
While I'm thinking through this, let's go over
monsters, here. Get into encounters, keep getting experience, that kind of thing. But yeah, they both seem to. Oh wait, Smashy remembers Deep Grave still hasn't been explored yet. So, yeah, for a while it looked like he was just gonna go to the Armored Knight grind, but now he's gonna check this box off. Go Deep Grave.
We'll see if he has better fortunes against red dragons down here.
So this is interesting. Fitz got all the way down on MP and is kind of exiting here. Instead of taking the route a lot of us probably would consider here is just Death Warp off that spike tile, because the castle is one screen over. So it's actually faster to take the death than to look around for an inn here.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll want to go ahead and take the slower route when you're thinking, well, maybe if I hold on to this money, I can get something to help me out. But obviously, Fitzentoaster has the best of everything, so there's absolutely no value in holding off on that.
Now he's going to end up at Hawksnest, and he's got no resources. So, yeah, this is a little bit of an error here. Needs to just hurry up and take a death or something. I think he's now just looking for an encounter to do that. Yeah, this is... Should have just taken the death on the spike if he was going to continue grinding there. But, well, we don't necessarily need MP here because we don't have heal more anyway, so you might as well take this shot with the flute strats, see if you get lucky. With Erdrick's sword right now, you could take this golem down in about 4 hits with this 114 attack power. So if it stays asleep, we can do this with no MP. Alright, here we go. That's 2 hits, that's 3 hits. He wakes up. I would put it back to sleep here just in case, even though you're probably going to get it on the next attack. But it can have very high HP, so here we go. Put it to sleep. Let's see if he gets him here. Alright, using the herb just in case. And yeah, that 4th attack wasn't enough. Now this attack will basically always be enough, because the golem cannot dodge. So, he's being safe here by using the flute again, but if you were counting damage, he's always going to get him on the next hit.
Yeah, I will say it's one of those things that the more and more you run this, the more you just get a sense for, oh, this is going to be the hit that wins it against a golem. I have no idea how many hit points they actually have. I just kind of get a sense for
this
is going to be
an obscene number. It's like over 150 is their max. So sometimes you're so sure you're going to get him and it's still not enough. All right, well, quest items acquired for Fitz. So first in official grind and go, gets rid of that fire's ring that was already put on. So he, well, now he decides, well, maybe this is my grind. Let's go grind golems. They are worth 350. Oh, but not putting it to sleep. So just death warping here to get back towards the castle. So maybe he wants to go do the trade-ins first.
Yeah, I would definitely go ahead and do the trade-ins right now. And while, without heal more, the golem is just, it's not a good grind. It might feel good because of the experience, but you have to go flute strats, and those are so slow, so you're probably looking at maybe a minute per golem if you're lucky, and that 350 for a minute is not great when you can get that, with a few Hurtmores in the other cave.
Yeah, you got the Armored Knight grind in the cave as we see on Smashy's screen, so yeah, get the trade-ins done. Maybe you get the next level en route, and honestly, like, the next level could be go time. A lot of things have to happen, particularly you have to have some HP, but the attack power is almost there already here on 13. And so yeah, you don't want to be grinding and then you have go time and it's like, oh, but wait, I didn't do the trade-ins yet. So I like this play because while you're doing it now, you can be fighting monsters along the way. He's repelling actually huge amounts of monsters, so he's not actually seeing much. But you could get an occasional Axe Knight pop up, or maybe even a blue dragon if you want to fight one or whatever. But here comes the trade-in already. That was a quick walk, repelling everything on the map.
And honestly, with 91 defense power and 78 HP, you have and 121 attack power, you have a reasonable shot of damage racing a red dragon.
Yeah, you can 3-shot them sometimes with this attack power, so absolutely. So you said we have to actually go into Garenham and go through, and the Rainbow Drop Cave is there. So it seems like he knows exactly where that is. He's walking all the way back to the west. Just got to get back in there and make this happen. So, I mean, Fitz has a solid lead in this race because somehow he kept that experience lead this whole time, and he's going to be the first one to get all the homework done. So, just have to not go too far astray here. We got to get this homework accomplished, and we got to get to the grind right away because Smashy's pretty good at end games.
I'm not exactly sure what happened with Smashy. He was diving the grave, and then I was just I was watching Fitzentoaster go and get all the stuff, and came back, and Smashy is now in the castle, and going into swamp. So he got sniped by a wizard, according to chat. So he did not get his sword.
Oh, that is very unfortunate. Maybe he saw that there were red dragons in that zone. Maybe luckily got away from one and then died anyway, and is like, well, I'm not going to be able to dive this right now. which is really rough because, like I said, a lot of runners just kind of run hoping that the sword just isn't in the bottom grave. Like they're gonna like bank on it being in Sharlock. So I hope that's not the case for his sake. Oh boy, so Fitzentoaster, it's the one thing that I was hoping wasn't happening, is he just has not, he can't re-find the town that he needs. He's been wandering around quite a bit, but finally we do have it. So maybe a minute or two lost just on the wandering of the map there, but homework done. And he passed right by Sharlock in his travels, so he'll know exactly where to go to get to the final dungeon. He just needs to get to his grind now. And you're saying you probably in this situation you would go back to the Armored Knight grind instead of the Golem. We don't have Heal More yet.
Yeah, Golem grinds are not great without Heal More. They're also not great without a lot of HP. Usually you want to do Golem grinds when you've got decent HP and maybe your AP is trailing a little bit because it's just I guess at this point they could take 3 hits from a Golem at full strength now all the time because the Golem can only hit for 37, I think now. But so maybe at 78 it's the closest thing, but I'd want to have Heal More because the Flute's just so slow. If you can do swing a Heal More fights, which you could do at 121 AP, that's great. I would do that in a heartbeat, but not with the Fairy Flute. I would go Armored Knight.
Yeah, so heads up play by Fitz to go ahead and pick up his herbs and stuff while he was doing the homework in Garenham. Herbs, torches, the things you're going to want for Sharlock. But now, like, doesn't just pop the return spell and instead is kind of wandering the map again. Very concerned about the end game here. End games are like, you have to be pretty snappy. You have to, you got to know what you got to do and you got to do it. And this feels like a lot of wandering. We're running into ghosts. Yeah, got to get the experience here.
Yeah, you need to swing on that red dragon right there. But meanwhile, Smashy actually did take the experience lead while Fitzentoaster was doing all the homework. Now, obviously, Smashy's going to have to do that homework again, so it's not like Smashy jumped to an overall lead, but he at least was able to cover some ground. He has gotten his sword now, and so if he gets bounced from Sharlock at this point, he'll at least know where the harp is.
Yeah, so actually the wandering of the map makes a little bit of method to the madness here. He actually was trying to refine Hawk's Nest so that he could do the Golem grind instead of going back to the Swamp Cave Armored Knight grind. Now, they are worth 350, so it's double the amount of experience with every victory. So as long as you're not dying here, it can be okay. Like, you just have to have some sleep luck. And you do have pretty high attack power, so you're probably going to 4-shot the Golem a lot. And okay, so yeah, so realize that would be the hit, and you can just heal up after battle. Like, I see a lot of criticism that this is not the right decision here, but if you can not waste too much time healing in the battle, you just put it to sleep once or twice with the flute, and then you heal after. Like, I think this is a fine grind right now. If you had lower attack power like a couple of levels ago, I think this would probably be a mistake. But now it's like you can move along here through this Golem grind. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's definitely looking not as bad as I was painting it out to be.
Well, I mean, your point too is that you do have to rely on the flute, and sometimes you just don't get the the sleep luck. Right now, he's getting the sleep luck with the flute, so that makes it quite a bit better. If it wakes up every turn and you don't have healing, it's problems to the point where you may actually have to run away from the monster in the middle of battle to reset it, and then that's a lot of time lost.
Generally speaking, my willingness for the flute or for a sleep spell on a stone man is 1 time. I will do it. I will give it a shot. If it fails, then I'm going to say, forget it, I'm not trying sleep strats on you. I'm going to go ahead and just take you down the old-fashioned way, and I'll try again at the next one. You clearly had your caffeine today, and I don't want to deal with that.
Well, Fitz has maintained he's got this 500-point lead now, and Smashy still does not have the harp, which I guess is, he's going to get if he beats the Golem 1 time, right? Is this where it was? But Smashy has to run around and do the homework still for the trade-ins. So this is a significant lead right now for Fitz. He's going to be the first to have dibs on the Dragon Lord fight if you can just get this experience without too many things going wrong here.
Yeah, that huge HP gain that they just got at level 14 that's where I say absolutely suddenly the Golem is the right play. You don't really even have to use the Fairy Flute. You just heal up after each battle. And I think the amount of time I don't know, maybe the amount of time you spend casting heal offsets the amount of time you lose using the flute.
Heal. That's always fun. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for his sake that they didn't just acquire heal more on that level up, because then it would be a slam dunk. Fighting through there on the final hit, 44 on that final hit to the Golem. I think, though, sometimes you're still going to only be 4-shotting. You can't rely on 3-shotting a Golem, really. So I don't know if you're always going to win the damage race. They hit so hard. But, yeah, I mean, like you said, use the flute maybe one time. Hope for the best. He does a small amount of heal walking there. And, yeah, we're back in. We're going to use the flute. At 350 a pop, I mean, we got to get to 7,500. This is only like, what, 4 more victories, and we're there already.
And Smashy decided to take another couple golems to get over his level 14, so now he's going to be wandering the map completely untouched by monsters, since he's going to have Repel up while he goes and does the rest of his homework, and then we'll see just quite what the deficit ends up being when he gets back from all of that.
Yep, and so if we think ahead to Sharlock, we're looking at runners that are geared up with Silver Shield and with the 92 defense and agility in the mid-80s. The Red Dragon and the Arbor Knight, we've seen plenty of them in this seed, and they do not have the sleep spell. So there is a reasonable chance of getting to the bottom with full resources. So when you're looking ahead, if you get a level that feels a little bit borderline, I feel like you got to be leaning towards just going for it here.
Yeah, it's not just the Armor Knights and Red Dragons too. We literally haven't seen a single Sharlock monster with anything worse than Hurtmore. And so, and that's the wizard who you are easily repelling. You know, you don't even really care that much what the Green Dragon, Star Wyverns, Werewolves, and Wizards are doing, because you're just going to repel them out on the dive. So, yeah, I think this is the one where you go ahead and run on the assumption that you're going to get to the Dragon Lord with full resources, and then hope you're right.
All right, one more Golem, and we'll see if it's level 15 go. We already have the HP. So we just have to have some more attack power. You need about 10 more power to even take a look. And then from there, it's probably a little more than that on some of the other stats. So see if we get a double-digit power gain. If you get 30 HP, then that's the equivalent, because you can use the necklace to gain 10 power. So there are ways to make 15 happen here. Let's see what he gets when he finishes this Golem off. That's one way to do it. Excellent move. And let's see. Courage and Wit. The power is only 5, and the HP is not there. So this isn't going to be the level, but he does get Heal More, which makes this grind so much smoother.
Yeah, with Heal More, I'm going to forget I have the flute.
Now, the one downside, just, you know, to think about it, is that we're not that close to an inn, I don't think. And he's managed to be here this whole time without using a lot of MP. If we start going only Heal More strats, we might burn through it pretty fast, but it certainly is quite a bit faster, though, to not use the flute on a per encounter basis. So, all right, let's see. Fitz, we're looking at the stats here. 127 attack power, but you have to cancel that off. Only 90 MP, so that's only 11 Heal Mores right now. So there's just not really a way to make this happen that I can think of. I don't even think Fairy Water strats will do it.
Yeah, at 108 HP, if you're not thinking Fairy Water strats, you want, at minimum, 13 Heal Mores, if not 14. With Fairy Water strats, you could probably get away with maybe 13. If things go really well, 11's not going to cut it.
Yeah, not really much wiggle room with the HP for any kind of double attacks or anything. So, yeah, it's pretty clear that we just have to get one more level here. Now, if someone really wanted to go for it with Fairy Water strats because they were feeling aggressive, it wouldn't be, too terrible, but you'd be a pretty big underdog probably. So instead, Fitz is going to just finish out the rest of his MP here on this golem, and maybe we can think about just finishing off the level on the Armored Knight when we go back home, or is he going to try and find an in here at the last second? That's the question. All right, gets sent back home. We are only like 1,000 points away with 9750, right? Is that the number? Yeah, 9750.
This is one of those level at this point with 92 defense power. I'm pretty much diving at the next level no matter what. Now, whether I dive with or without repel will be influenced by what shows up. But I am banking on this. But this next level, giving any gain, is going to tell me, hey, you can at least hope up, bank on level 17.
Here's the thing, was he did decide to go into Swamp Cave to try and finish off. I think actually now thinking about it, even the better strat is to just go into Charlock. Leave Repel off, and you're picking off half the monsters that are in there and get the level on the way down. It's very likely that the next level is enough for the Dragon Lord, and you can get yourself geographically so much closer than taking this side turn into the spike tile. This is the exact scenario where you want to use fight your way down strats because the defense power is so high.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thought process with the 16 to 17, but with MP the problem with the dive and grind strats generally is that MP doesn't refill, and feeling that MP is kind of the stat that's the lowest of the ones that I'm uncomfortable with here, that would make me say, well, let's see if we can at least get something to either make me feel more comfortable with that MP or to increase that MP. If I had 100 MP, I'd be diving and grinding right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess if you already had an inventory full of fairy water, it would probably be, more. It would be closer. But you'd have to go out of your way at this point to get the fairy water. So maybe it's better to just stay on the spike tile here. It's only about 1,000 that he needs. Certainly we'll get it on this cycle, on this Armored Knight grind. Smashy's still running around the map. I think needs to get to the Rainbow Drop Cave now, which was in the backside of Garenham. Still didn't get to the Staff Cave, so we're on the southern regions. Staff Cave was all the way in the southeast, and then we had to get all the way north to get the drop out of the Garenham Cave. So quite a bit of walking for Smashy. You can see how much further behind he's getting because he's off the spike tiles, where Fitz is getting an encounter every other step. Smashy now is 2,000 points behind.
I will say from that diving grind perspective, Smashy, I don't know if we've actually seen anybody try to fight a Stoneman up to this point, but he did, and this Stoneman is just constantly throwing out hurt. So even though that one's not defense broken, it's another great target for just whacking away on the way down.
Well, the level came pretty quickly. It's only 2 more power. Oh, this is an opportunity now, I think, for Smashy to catch up, because some runners might not go on this level, and I think you have to. You have to do it here on this level. But if you have kind of a rudimentary chart, it might tell you that this is not enough. And I think Smashy is going to go on 16. This is a huge opening for Smashy to win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. At 129, again, not taking fairy water logic into account, I want to get 16 swings off. You have 11 heal mores, but 120 hit points and 93 defense power, which means your odds of getting doubles are pretty high. And so you probably are going to get 3 doubles throughout the course, 2 to 3 doubles throughout the course of the fight. That means if you get down with full resources and can have a decent DL1 fight, your odds of beating the Dragon Lord are pretty high. It's certainly not a lock or anything, but it's good enough that you'd absolutely think about going. It's one of those, like I said, I'd probably go and not go, I'd go and still take what monsters I could on the way.
Yeah.
But you could. It's close enough that you could also make the argument for not doing that and just going straight.
Well, this is, again, another one of those spots. I mean, it's borderline, but again, we have the agility and the defense, which we've seen a lot of races right in this tournament where you have 50 agility in this exact spot, and then maybe you don't go, right? But you have, your coin flip to run from the red monsters, and you have, some extra HP to absorb hits, and the defense power, you're repelling all sorts of monsters. Usually you have to try it on 16. This is go time.
Yeah, I think in general, people tend to underestimate how substantial those increases in defense are, because, we just think about what the range becomes, but the distribution inside the range changes as well, and all in all, your odds of getting doubles goes up pretty substantially just for a few defense points. So at 92, 93 defense, that is absolutely you have to take that into consideration with your hit points.
Yeah.
And yeah, 16
And
you gotta
again,
try.
Even if you wanted to play it conservatively, this is yet another spot where I'm still a fan of the dive and grind. Like, I get that people don't like dive and grind with low MP, but it's the same in any situation. If you're like 2 attack power away from go time, like, it's just a dive and grind. You're gonna get the 2 attack power most of the time. So
Yeah, there's no reason not to be diving right now is kind of the summary here. Whether you're gonna grind on the way or not.
Well, here's an opportunity now after taking the death halfway through the level. Maybe now it's time to... He is exiting, so maybe now we're thinking dive and grind. We'll see. Oh, I'm sorry. I kept thinking the Swamp Cave was in the basement. You actually have to go 1 screen over to get to Swamp Cave, so he's probably just going back to the spike. Never mind. It's going to be super interesting because Smashy's going to get 16 at about the same time as Fitz gets 17, and I can almost guarantee Smashy's going in at 16. He's just got too much experience.
Yeah,
in terms of like experience running the game, not experience points.
Yeah, Smashy also is a player who is very comfortable with taking chances and being aggressive. And so he is not one who's going to play it a little more conservative. I see no world in which Smashy says, you know what, let's take this one's doable, but let's take that extra level just to be safe. That's not Smashy style.
100% agree with that. And yeah, a lot of times, like we said, the play it safe idea usually comes when you have horrifically low agility, like we've seen in some of the other races. There just isn't, if you look at this tracker, it's all orange and green. There's just not anything jumping out at you that says that you should play it safe. This is, it's not a play it safe situation. So I kind of expect them to kind of be going in at the same time then. Smashy's going to get 16 at about the same time as Fitz gets 17. They're both, 500, 600, 700 points away from their respective level ups, and we're going to be simultaneously going for it here. It's going to be super close.
Yeah, it is also worth noting that if they only get 0 or 1 agility at level 17, then they will be defense breaking the exact same number of monsters on the Sharlock dive. So this level edge that Fitz will have won't actually show up to be of any importance until the actual Dragon Lord fight itself, and even that, it's probably moderate. Now, if he gets another 10 attack power or something, then yeah, the Dragon Lord fight can be whatever, but it's not like these levels are going to make the dive easier.
Well, the extra 10 attack power, what that would do is it would give you, like, if the Sharlock is just horrible, you could burn 3 or 4 Humors or whatever, and you'd still be okay. So we've been running under the assumption that they're just going to get to the bottom without burning anything, and that's not always the case, of course. This is the final victory to get to 12,000 even for Fitz and level 17. Smashy will need 1 or 2 more victories to get to 9750. And there's the 6 power you were talking about. So now we have some, like, you can burn a couple of heal mores probably. So you have to go now. This is like, you're sprinting out of here.
Yeah, 135 attack power, that's 13 swings. Again, you got 11 heal mores. That's... who knows how many doubles you're going to get in the process.
Hopefully this is a death warp here for his sake. Hopefully he's just death warping this. I mean, if he's trying to get another level here, that's a pretty big mistake now.
Smashy's going to not put Repel on and try to get these extra 15 experience on his way to a town to cast Repel and get going the rest of the way.
Oh, geez, he's healing up. This is a pretty big mistake. Fitz is just not aware. He's way too strong now. You have to go immediately. It's go time. You cannot get another level here.
Smashy's actually hunting out that Droll Warlock zone to try to get those last 15 experience.
Oh my gosh, what is going on, Smashy? Just... Oh.
He wants revenge on that Droll.
And he gets... Oh boy. He just did 118 damage, I think, on that Droll. Alright, well, he's going to get the news about the 2 power. I mean, I'm sure he'll take a look, but... And I expect him to go for it. Let's see. He's looking a couple of times. I know it's close, but...
Yep, he is not heading back towards the swamp cave.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. No. Oh, no.
Another check. Let's check that status again. What's happening? Oh my gosh. Smashy, you're making a liar out of me. I was so sure he was going for it on 16. Oh,
yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
What's going on in this race? Does anyone want to win this race? Or we're just gonna be here all night, going to level 30.
All right, well, Fitzentoaster is actually doing his dive at 17 now, so he's looking to win it.
Okay, it's winning time. We're all green here, except for the orange MP. All right, down to 1 key remaining. I just noticed that he's used so many keys in this run. I've noticed him make trips to go top off his key supply several times. Somehow he still only has 1 key. Alright, well, we instantly find a red enemy, and so we're exactly a coin flip in this one. And of course, that means he's getting run blocked several times. 3 in a row. Yeah, that's not what you want to see, just right a few steps into the castle. That's unfortunate. Choosing not to use any herbs, again, this is a little bit of an error. When you have the red enemies, you know they're here now, because you just saw one. You have to use the herbs to get a little bit higher up, because in Dragon Warrior, you can take exactly 1 step and get another encounter. It's not like other games where there's a buffer after the encounter and you can use that to heal walk or whatever. 1 step is all it takes and you can get that same red dragon right away. You have to heal.
And let me tell you, if you are planning, let me just take a step and then I'll heal you into the enemy.
Yep.
Or you should take that step.
Well, good news for Fitz now is he's made it most of the way through the zone, and as soon as he gets to this stairway, it's a new enemy set, and we maybe won't have the armored knights in the down there. But right now he's got to deal with another one. Armored knights, as we saw, have some low percentage hurt more, which does probably about equivalent damage to their current attack. And he gets to the next zone, so we'll see if it's easier. But no, another armored knight right away.
You'll also notice he's only seeing armored knights because of the agility repelling everything else. But now you get red dragons, so the Sherlock dive is proving to be exciting.
Well, now 17 looks like it was a good idea. The extra 6 attack power means that he actually could burn a heal more right here, which of course he doesn't. You have to be... Oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay. No.
Oh, that's interesting.
No, you have to burn the heal more, and you just keep going. I think that it's hard for sometimes when the stats are a little awkward. You think that you don't have anything to burn here, but you really do.
Yeah, when you don't have the knowledge or the experience to know, to get that sense of where double attacks are going to play a role, then yeah, you're looking at this, you're seeing, hey, I need 13 swings, I have 11 heal mores, that basically means I need to get there with full resources. Not realizing just quite how much extra is available to you with this defense and HP.
So what that means is he might actually decide that he's going to get another level because of how bad Sherlock seems to be on his dive, and it's a reasonable idea. If you're just going to run into nothing but red dragons all the way down, eventually you're going to be burning resources, right? So it's going to take a relatively cautious approach and just make sure that we're overpowered, we have heal mores to burn, and pick up another level. It's 14,250 to get this level. Smashy's almost at 17, where he'll surely give it a go. As we just saw, it won't necessarily be successful, so...
Yeah, I would absolutely guarantee it if I hadn't just absolutely guaranteed level 16.
Guarantee. He's going. Unless he doesn't. Alright, so Smashy of course caught up a little bit on experience while Fitz was running from monsters trying to make his final dive, but still about 1,000 point lead almost. We will probably see Smashy exit this grind, and Fitz will continue to gain more experience. 14,250 is probably doable on this cycle. He's got 50 more MP to use to heal up after these battles. I don't know, fuzzy math says he might need 7 or 8 more armored knights to get the level. He's using some Hurt Mores along the way, so I'm not sure if he'll actually get there in this cycle or not, but he'll get most of the way there at least.
I will just take a moment to point out that, yeah, Up to G and I are being pretty, you guys need to be going now, you need to be whatever, and being very adamant about the decisions that be made. But let me tell you, when you're actually doing the run itself, it's really nerve-wracking to do that, and you gotta, all those things that we can sit here and analyze and whatever, you're manipulating a bunch of things at once, and can't necessarily think through things in the same manner with chat's, suggestions and inputs taken into account, etc. And so it's easy to be a little more critical here from the booth, like we're being, but these players are both also have played very well up to this point.
Oh, for sure. It's been a great run. Yeah, that's a good point. I sometimes watch chess commentary on Twitch where they're looking at, professional chess players. And the commentators will be like, oh, yeah, you got to like sacrifice this piece in this situation, blah, blah. And then they'll be like, yeah, I love to sacrifice other people's pieces. Meaning like, if I was sitting in the chair, like trying to like play for my life, in an important match, so it's easier said than done when you're over here in the commentary. You're like, yeah. Or like in poker, like you've made some poker references, like, I like to bet other people's chips, like, saying like you should make this bet here. But yeah, when it's your money, it's a different story, right? So yeah, we're like recommending certain plays, but it's always, clear from it's not always clear. It's that's what makes this fun and interesting to play. I mean, it's kind of a crazy end game that they're dealing with.
I will say, having said all that, if you are a runner of this game, playing in this tournament, and you want to improve, you should make sure you watch all your restream races back and pay attention to what chat says, what commentary says, and also watch the other races that aren't yours. I say this last year, how I won the championship last year. I didn't practice at all. I simply watched every race, read what chat said on my races, heard what the commentator said on my races, on other people's races, and that was so much better for me. There was a noticeable difference between my play quality at the beginning of the tournament and at the end because of how much I learned throughout the process. And I've been doing this, that was my 4th year, so it's not like I was new to this process either, but I was still able to learn so much that I was able to dramatically improve. So if you're running this, make sure you take the opportunity to watch as much of this as possible and see other people's perspectives, because it will really, really help your game.
Yep, well said. And while we were talking about that, Smashy, of course, made it directly into the U room, so all those nasty zones that Fitz was dealing with, Smashy has gotten through unscathed, still has 91 MP, so sometimes it's a little bit of encounter luck, just didn't see as many Armored Knights and Red Dragons, and he is en route to the Dragon Lord fight. So there you go. It's kind of painful when this happens, but it's like, sometimes you can be a little too conservative. You just get too many levels. But to be fair to Fitz, that was a really rough Sharlock that he ran into. And he wasn't getting much run luck, and he was getting so many of those bad enemies.
Yeah, it definitely was. He had very poor odds Sharlock with the things he encountered. So, sometimes it happens, and it'll scare you off. Even as a veteran, it'll scare you off. But as a new player, you're like, oh man, maybe I overshot this a little bit, and I should play a little safer, because you don't have that. Part of having that breadth of experience to say, when I've played 30 races like this, I know how it tends to go. But you've played a few, then you maybe a little gun shy because you don't realize kind of that what you just saw is an anomaly, and you can bank on that not being repeatable.
Yep. Smashy has a decent chance at an opening double. Just a massive favorite here. He did not burn any MP on the way down. Of course, he loses the opening attack, but he's still going to get the single to start things off, which is what most of the Dragon Lord math is based on anyways. And with any double attacks along the way, which he's favored to get, he should win this. There are scenarios where he doesn't beat the Dragon Lord here if you get a lot of low rolls and such things, but he's a pretty heavy favorite. We'll have to keep an eye on that as Fitz makes his way back in at 18. With Fitz's situation now, he has the option to use the Death Necklace at the end, So he's got to be aware now that because of that, he can burn probably 4 or 5 heal mores on the way down and be okay. Maybe more like 3 heal mores. But anyways. Yeah,
That
Smashy
double
about
and those
halfway
rolls
through.
are going to lock it in for him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you just got a double attack. Yeah, with over 120 hit points and high defense, you're pretty favored to get double attacks during the fight. So, and might get another one here. Yep. There's the physical and another double. So it's definitely a lock now. Smashy cruising through the Dragon Lord fight after a pretty tricky seed. It wasn't super fast. We're beyond an hour and a half. And he gutted it out, played a really nice end game, and overtook the lead at the last moment. It took that long for him to overcome the amazing start that Fitz had, where he did that blind gold grind and just runs like 3 screens north and finds Caitlyn with all the gear. And he was out to a lead ever since then for the entire seed, right up until endgame decisions. So I feel a little bit bad for Fitz that it kind of worked out that way in Charlock, but really kudos to Smashy for a great victory here. GG's.
Yeah, GG's to both players. It is one of those things when you're playing against a player who's a particularly veteran player, you have to really capitalize on your edges because any kind of letdown, anything that goes against you, they will take advantage of to recover from. I can tell you, I've experienced that firsthand with some of my races with some of my tournament races with Nescard, where I could have won if I hadn't if I hadn't stepped light off the gas a bit.
Yep, definitely. So I guess Fitz had to burn 1 heal more so far, but has plenty of options to get this done in this situation. So he's going to continue forward with being 1 heal more down this time instead, and is through that difficult middle zone with the Armored Knight and the Red Dragon. The bottom zone seemed to be pretty friendly, so Fitz has a good shot to finish up this seed just a few minutes behind the winner, and that's a pretty good result. And I was just double checking. I guess the way the schedule worked out, a lot of the races were earlier in the day today. So this will be the last one on today's schedule. And we potentially have a vodcast of a previous race coming up a bit later. But we will cross that bridge as we wrap up. But for now, Smashy, congrats on the victory.
Yay. Only feels good to be able to turn. Feels like I'm starting to right this ship after starting 0-2.
Yeah, very nice. That was probably a pretty tricky start to navigate through. You had the double gold, and I know that you explored in a lot of different directions without finding a town. And then I don't know what you thought when you eventually came across Caitlin.
Just the amount of Droll Magi's I hit. I didn't think I was that far behind from that.
Yeah, it was an interesting Fitz. You guys both saw the grave, and you took like 3 or 4 trips into the grave and ran into the big monsters. Couldn't get to those top 3. So Fitz was actually the first to grab that key out of there. And then, dying in there, it sets up a gold grind. He ended up grinding up a bunch of money blind and found Caitlin. So it was an
My
interesting
plan there
start.
is actually that was actually purposefully magic armor or large shield. Like I didn't want to go all the way up to silver shield, but I wanted to be able to buy some stuff. And at that point, we already had hurt more, so I figured get magic armor, get large shield, and if I find silver shield, maybe I can set something up off of mountain later on, which is what happened.
And what other questions do we have? I think there was some question about whether you were going to try to go for it on 16, and it was a little dicey with the numbers. You continued on till 17 on your grind.
Yeah, I was thinking really hard on that, and just I was actually kind of getting annoyed by the RNG I was facing, so that's what kind of pushed me because I would that armor knight grind. I hate grinding armor knights.
Yeah, they're really resource intensive. Whether you go double hurt more or you're healing after battles, there's a lot of death warping involved. So I don't blame you there. Nowadays, with enemies that are worth 350, they don't seem to be that valuable anymore.
Yeah, if I know we started getting HP late, and really for level 17, I probably should have went after the golem, but I just figured, hey, the swing and hurt more is actually starting to work pretty good on these. Like when I was doing
Right.
double hurt more, I was getting a lot of missed hurt mores and ambushes somehow. I don't know how many ambushes I took in that seed, even though agility was like our best stat comparatively.
Well, Fitz is now finishing up the seed also, and so we'll get an official time on that. It wasn't too far behind. So yeah, Fitz interest. Just for your sake, Fitz actually went into Charlock, but got so many Armored Knights and Red Dragons, decided to just nope out and go all the way to 18 because he wasn't happy with what he was seeing in there. So, um, yeah, yeah, not the easiest end game for you guys. You had to first of all, you had all these borderline levels. You had to decide whether to go in, and then you go into Charlock, and there were multiple zones with Armored Knights and Red Dragons. So, you Smashy, you were able to get down there with full resources, so that's always pretty helpful.
Yeah, I think I encountered pretty much nothing on the final zone, which is nice. Which made up for I have repel on. I still get 5 encounters on the first zone, including a stone man that run blocks me about 4 times because that's just what stone men do. They run block you.
Yeah, they're the worst. And I guess it turned out they had the hurt spell or something. I don't think we saw Stone Man the entire seed, so it was like
Yeah,
sometimes it's a
I
little
killed
like, oh, what's this gonna be? But then okay.
I killed one on the way to doing the homework. When I was on the way to go get the staff of rain, I saw one and I think I impaled it and then started casting her. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna kill
Oh,
it.
that's maybe where we saw it. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, the trade-ins were kind of far apart. It was but I don't know, once you guys got going, I don't know if it felt like really challenging in any way. You were just making the checks. There was a point where I wasn't sure you were going to end up diving deep grave because we already knew at that point Fitz had already dug the sword out of there, and so it was you were running out of places to check, and we weren't sure if you were going to go in there or if you were going to just hope that the sword was in Charlock.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that while grinding the armor knight, and then we got outside before we really got enough durability to really go after a golem. And I just said, I'm just gonna go check. I've got outside now. Let's go check grave. And oh hey, sword.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you had been searching around for it in Charlock, things might have turned out differently. So it was good to make that check. I like. It's interesting that you waited for outside for that. That's a good detail. And then I think you had waited for return before doing some of the homework, so that made
Yeah,
those
because
trips easier.
yeah, I for those who were wondering why I went back through swamp, I hadn't checked north, so I didn't know that was actually the northern end of the map. I was thinking maybe there's a non-zero chance that this could be a single continent, and because I knew swamp led all the way to the eastern end, but that was also where uh, staff trading was, and I was thinking just maybe you can head north from swamp and get to trade in,
Oh yeah, okay, that's a good thought.
but nope.
Unfortunately, that wasn't a very long continent, so you were able to just see that very quickly.
Yeah,
But
I
there
just
most
took
definitely is
I
still a
took
speculation.
yeah I took 2 steps north and it's like, oh, this northern border.
All right, I think we have Fitz in here. Well, that was a great run by you, by the way. So congrats. What do you think about this run?
Oh, I don't know. Early on, I got really lucky with that gold grind and the finding Cantlin really early, so I was feeling pretty good. But then I got stomped by some red dragons. But overall, I feel like I played pretty well for being pretty new to the game.
Yeah, I think I agree with all that. The that grind certainly gave you an advantage in the seed. It took Smashy quite a while after that to gear up. You ended up finding the sword earlier as well, so that helped you in the middle stages. Yeah, so every step of the way, it seemed like you were just one step ahead. You found the armor first, and then it all just came down to the end game with figuring out which level you wanted to go in on. And then when you finally decided to go in, you ran into a bunch of red dragons and you noped out.
Yeah, my dive at 17 was kind of I wasn't sure if I was behind, but I feel like even though I felt like I had a good run, I feel like I'm the weaker player, so I need to take some chances, and I gave it a shot, and I just noped out pretty quick.
Yeah, it turned out that Smashy did manage to win on 17. I think his dive just went a little more smoothly in that in that case.
I mean,
Certainly,
it actually went really smoothly, except for that one stone man. I know I got a bunch of encounters on the top floor, but after that, actually went about as smoothly as a Sharlock dive can go.
yeah. So that that was just quite a bit of a different experience in there. The middle zone in particular had both armored knights and red dragons, and Fitz was getting one like on every other step. And then you didn't want to burn a heal more there. We were thinking that maybe you could have Fitz just because you had a bunch of HP. So sometimes you have to factor in that you could get a double attack in the fight at the end. But I can understand that it felt a little bit borderline. So you decided to go out and get another level.
Yeah, I kind of just I wasn't sure, but I didn't want to make the entire dive and get to the Dragon Lord and be short on resources, so I just kind of figured, one more level.
Yeah. Well, facing off against a
Lord and
veteran
be
player
short on
and giving it,
resources, so I just kind of figured.
such good competition, that was a great run. I think that's the third race that you've had so far, so you have a few left to go, and good luck on those ones. Smashy, you are now 2-2, right? So you had a rocky start, but like you said before, righting the ship and looking towards maybe getting a top 3, getting out of the group stage.
Yeah.
Tilo, I don't know if we can confirm whether there's actually a vodcast happening later, but or whether or not we're
There,
rating anybody. I guess I'll let you take it
so
away.
there is going to be a vodcast later. Zarnax is going to put one up, but it is contingent. The timing is contingent upon when he finishes his Zelda 1 randomizer seed. He's guessing around 1:30. The teams are as of yet to be determined, but that roughly 1:30 is, I think, the target time. It's being looked at 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. On that same note, we are going to be rating Speed Gaming 4 because there is the Zelda 1 randomizer race between Zarnax and actually I don't know who he's playing against, but Zarnax's Zelda 1 randomizer race is happening on Speed Gaming 4, and so we are going to raid that to cheer him on, to thank him for the upcoming podcast.
That makes total sense. That's going to be fun. Well, so let's all stick around for that and enjoy some Zelda 1. And I would say that pretty much wraps it up. Good luck to the runners in your next races. I don't know if we have some links. Everybody should follow all the runners and the crew here. There's a link to the Discord for those interested. You definitely want to join and start learning how to play this game. It's by far the best randomizer out there, in my opinion. But who knows? There are a lot of good ones. So, but yeah, if you enjoy this game, definitely come to the Discord, check it out. And yeah, we were gonna go ahead and do that raid. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Look forward to seeing everybody in the very near future. I'm sure there'll be plenty more happening tomorrow. So stay tuned to this channel, follow this channel, and come back for the next race. Have a good night, everybody. See you next time.